All right, everybody, listen up because what I'm about to say is what we were expecting. The Bears took Colson Loveland with their first pick, and that came to pass. But what we didn't think about was what the Bears would take next. Right after this.
Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Like I said, guys, got to listen up because what I'm about to say is not what we're expecting. The Bears took Colson Loveland with their first pick, and that came to pass. But we didn't think about was the Bears would then take Luther Burden with the second pick. And so I got two questions for you guys. First, just generally, what did you guys think about the Bears draft? First and foremost, I want to introduce somebody. This is their first premiere show. I'm excited to have Big O in the building. Big O, how you doing, brother?
Hey, hey, what's up, guys? What's up? I'm feeling good, feeling good. Excited for the new season. Excited for the draft we had. The young cats we got, man. It's exciting, man. Ready to roll.
All right. So we know what Big O feels about the draft. How about you, Chris?
I like the draft. We actually addressed a lot of needs, and some of these picks we didn't really see coming, but I'm loving it anyway.
How about you, Mr. Cooper?
I was pretty excited about it, man. There was some unpredictability in this draft that I didn't expect the Bears going in the certain directions they did, but I'm excited to talk about it and excited to see what happens from here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, like I said, but really what I'm interested in is how are we going to use this new personnel that we have with 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, all of that? Because it seems like we have one more player than we can use on the front line. So I'd just like to take your time on what you think. How you think the Bears are going to implement all these new weapons? Coop, what do you think, bro?
So it's going to be interesting. It's funny when we were talking on a couple of Fridays. This was Chris. We were talking about this about 6-7 weeks ago. We were talking about the mock drafts, and I'm like, there could be a real possibility of us taking a tight end in the first round, and we wouldn't have said that about 2 months ago about a tight end. So, and I think it all kind of fell in place because the tackles went pretty quickly. 3 tackles went in the first 9 picks, and I guess I didn't see the Saints taking one right before us, but at the same time, I love the fact that we got. Listen, I'm going to be a little bit biased here too, guys, because I'm a Michigan fan and I watch Michigan games. So to see them take Colston Loveland the way they did, I'm pretty excited for this pick, and I'm excited to see how they run their offense now because Ben Johnson using Laporta the way he did in Detroit, I feel like this is that guy. I feel like this is that type of player, the body type. When you look at the way he's played, look at his body type, look at the way he can catch the ball. He looks like more of a wide receiver than he does a tight end. And I think that's going to be the fun part about this, the more the development of Colston Loveland. And then with the wide receiver as well, how he's going to be able to work in. But I'm pretty excited about this pick. At first, I was like, man, I can't believe we're getting a tight end. But the more I look at it, the more I process it, the more I'm like, okay, this is another weapon for Ben Johnson for his offense and his scheme.
I tell you what, I agree. I do agree, though.
I'll let you go, Eddie.
Go ahead, Oscar. What do you think, buddy?
Man, I agree 100% with Matt. I think the offense is going to be high powered. I think we're going to see a lot of similarities with Detroit's offense. I think Loveland is going to be dangerous up that middle with his hands. I think with the yards after catch, I think we're going to see something with him that we haven't seen in a number of years with our tight ends. Is the YAC. I mean, we don't have a lot of that in Cole Kmet, and I think the last tight end that I really remember being successful. And don't get me wrong, Kmet is a good tight end for us, but ever since Martellus Bennett, I mean, I can't think of a tight end who was really more successful than Kmet.
No, you're definitely right about that. What do you think about this, Chris?
What I think about it is that there was a consistent theme when it came to drafting these players, and they were all like hybrids. And when you have that, it makes it so there's really there's not a level of predictability of what you're going to do when that player's on the field. So when you look at Loveland, Loveland is known for we know him for the highlight he made in the passing game. What we don't know is, we're not really paying attention to is how good of a blocker he was when he was at Michigan, because they're so run dominant. So I I understand, me and Matt, like several weeks ago, I was one of the ones that said if they don't attack the trenches in the first 2 rounds, I'm gonna have a problem. But when I evaluate this draft now and I look deeper into like why they selected these players for Ben Johnson's offense, it's providing weapons. And the thing about it is you can use these weapons in multiple ways, multiple spots. And on top of that, when you look at a 6'6", a 6'5", 6'6" tight end, that's a mismatch for anybody. Linebackers, safeties, whoever, just because of the body type and the ability to catch the ball at his highest point, which we've seen from Loveland, and he's a hands catcher. So that's another guy you got to worry about when the red zone, in the middle of the field, and even when it comes to blocking, they can even go play side with him, and we can have a more powerful run game on top of that. So I'm excited about this draft class.
Yeah. So basically, I agree.
go ahead.
I agree. The same thing that he's saying. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to talk about. But the one thing that I want to say is what we know. What we know is the matchups, because obviously the way that our new head coach, the way that he coached everybody up, with the Detroit Lions, is they're prepared for matchups, right? They can go three wides basically and one tight end. They can go two wides and two tight ends. They can do a lot of different things. And at the end of the day, 11 personnel, three wide receivers has been the predominant personnel group in the NFL multiple years now, right, guys? They love being in it. And if you check the history of our coach, what was he in mostly where he was? What was he mostly in where he was in Detroit? I think that should be a clue as to what's going to be the dominating personnel. But they can certainly mix it all up, right, guys? They can throw a fullback out there. They can do a lot of different things. Now, you may be thinking, can you play three wides and two tight ends? You can do it. And I know you guys that played the three wides and two running backs, no tight end. Ted Marchabroda was famous for that, and plenty followed him afterwards. So don't worry about who's on the field. At times, the three wide receiver is more important than the two tight ends. So the third wide receiver can be more important than two tight ends, but that's not to say you don't need them at times. So if you watch the sidelines and you go look at the sidelines and you see, be a little bit more objective here. This is fun, right? The third wide receiver and the second tight end, even if there's a fullback, the fullback, see who they're standing next to. Watch the sidelines, because you're always going to see they stand right next to the guy who's calling in stuff, right, guys? And if the play's coming from upstairs, it comes down to a headset. And there's always three guys standing right there. So that'll give it away. As soon as they hear the personnel grouping, he sends the right guys onto the field. If you're scouting a team, you always know where those three guys are. And you're recording how much they go in, right, guys? So it's going to be fun to see how this unfolds. Now, if you remember, when Ben Johnson arrived for the Bears, he talked about a new metric that he believes in that takes over as one of the most dominant metrics in football. It's called expected points added, EPA. He believes it's more valuable than defensive takeaways now, which means if you have more weapons that can score points, that's going to overwhelm your opponent. So what's Detroit known for? Scoring damn points. And they had 9 bajillion people out that were injured. They were calling in fans, and they had freaking 6 games that scored 6 freaking 40 points or more. They were one of the best ever, right? So, and what did they have? They had weapons, bro. They had Gibbs, they had Laporta, they had St. Brown, they had Montgomery. So when you've got a guy like Burton, 192 catches at Missouri over the last 3 years, when you've got Cole Kmet, who had 6 touchdowns last year, when you got a guy like Loveland, who racked up receptions and points at Michigan, even though they were a run-first offense, and of course, you draft Roma Dunze, you know what he did at Washington. And DJ Moore, say less, who's been a 1,000-yard receiver everywhere except Chicago. That's a lot of expected points, EPA, guys. And that's exactly what they're looking for. Now, here's a crazy stat for you guys. The NFC North scored more points than any other division in football last year. There are a lot of points being put up, guys. And I believe it was Detroit that ran the most 12 personnel. That's 1 running back, 2 tight ends. That's what the 12 means, okay? Of any team in the league. So listen, guys. Matt, I don't know if you've got the stat, but I looked up about 10 days ago, right after Loveland, and it's true. Detroit was number 1 in running 12 personnel last year. You know what the percentage was? Does anybody know what the percentage was of running 12 personnel? What do you guys think? Hold on, let me unmute you. There we go. Does anybody know what the percentage was of the 12 personnel?
I think it was like around 40 to 50%.
You're close. Anybody else want to take a stab?
That was my guess.
I was going to say 40%, but I guess I'm off.
About 40, 50%?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what it is, guys. Here's what it is. It was 32% of their plays. And that's a high number. That's a very good number. Now, Bill Parcells, you guys all remember Bill Parcells, right? I know you do, Oscar. I talked to you, bro. You got some history. You got some history in football, got some history in hip hop. I'm about ready to open a podcast and talk about some hip hop with my guy, some old school 90s rap. We could have a good old time. But listen, Parcells used to always say that 12 was his favorite personnel group because it creates conflict for the defense. You go out in 12 on first down and they go nickel. You run the ball with those tight ends in close. You go out in 12 and they go base. You spread those tight ends and throw it. So we always felt like you give me a chance to be what I want to be and you'll send the wrong thing out. But with 11 personnel, everybody sends out a nickel. Nobody's fooling around anymore, right? 12 is a conflict, folks. But you know what Eddie Donatel said? He said he don't care about anything about how many wide receivers were on the field. For him, 12 and 21 were the same damn thing because it was all about how many wideouts you needed to cover. If there was only 2 wide receivers, great. 4 DBs, done. So it's all about how you see it. And I'll tell you this, it's going to be hard to keep Luther Burton off the damn field, guys. You're going to start hearing a lot more about expected points added in the future. Now, I'm not saying pro football is turning into video games, but the rules are designed to do what? They're designed to score points. Every blade of grass, all that, guys. And Ben Johnson is looking at it this way. We're going to put all these uncovered guys on the field, and we're going to attack your weakest moments. And if that sounds familiar, it's because we've seen it before. Remember the razzle-dazzle offense? Gary Croton brought that fire to Chicago, guys. And that's why Gunther Cunningham gave us that nickname, because we're doing things no team has prepared for, guys. Bubble screens, wild looks. Not that it had even existed before, but nobody had seen it like that. Now, you see it all the time in college. It's everywhere, guys. But expected points added, that's going to be the metric moving forward. Now, I expect the quarterback better act like the quarterback in Detroit if we want to get those expect extra points. That's the first thing I'll say about that. You've got to have a guy pulling the trigger, someone who can read it, deliver it, and get the ball where it needs to go, because otherwise it's all for nothing. You could have 5 Hall of Famers out there, and it won't matter if you don't have a Hall of Fame under center or at least a Pro Bowler. Check this. Detroit ran 0 snaps from 21 personnel. They were always 2 personnel group team. And when they did run 12, you had to break it down. When are they doing it? It's a first down package, third down package, red zone. You've got to make it easy for your defense to understand when they're doing these things, okay? So here's the deal. And also, and when they're doing it. Now, heavy 12, it's with a tackle playing tight end. That's a whole different category. That's just 2 tight ends, heavy tackle. All right. Like I said, we've got to hit this break, and I just want to break these guys down. We're gonna fire in closely. We're gonna ask Matt, Oscar, and Chris. Now it's our turn. What do you guys think about the Bears draft overall with all this? Question I already asked earlier, but I really want you guys to unpack this, because it's a matter of, like, you guys were kind of like, okay, listen, remember 3 years ago when we went out and got two defensive backs right away? We went out and got Gordon, and we went out and got Brisker. I was like, what the hell are we doing? Well, now Ben Johnson's in the building. He says, all right, Ben, here's the keys. What are you doing? You know? And he goes out and he gets 2 offensive guys. And you guys already heard what he said, Colston Loveland. You are my very first pick as a brand new head coach. This is very important. One to always remember. And then what did he do? He went out and got a receiver. So, like I said, Big O, you are brand new in the building. We're going to lead off with you. No pressure, bro. What do you think?
Man, I tell you, going offense in the first 2 rounds was great to see. You know, we haven't done that often, and to get Loveland and Burton, that's huge. That's huge. You know, bringing in these weapons for our new offense. This is going to be a high-powered offense. You know, like you said, there's going to be different looks. They won't be able to cover everybody. I mean, I'm excited for scoring points. You know, scoring 30 plus points a game is going to be great to see. I believe it's going to happen with what we got. You know, and it's going to be cool to see, because we haven't seen it in a while. You know, last few years, we scored 24 points. That was good for us. You know, and it's about time that we actually put some points on the board and be competitive. So I'm looking forward to that.
Heck yeah, brother. What about you, Matt? What do you got to say about this, man? How do you see the Bears draft overall with who we ended up getting?
So there's a couple thoughts that come to my mind. The first 3 picks I absolutely love. I listen, like I said before, I'm a big Michigan. I like watching Big Ten football. So I got to see a lot of Loveland play. So I'm excited to see what he can do under Ben Johnson's offense, especially with the size that he has and the way he can catch the ball, the way he can get downfield. So I'm excited to see where he goes. Burden is a good one too. Burden's got a lot of speed. When you're going to watch Burden play, if you go watch some of his games back in Mizzou last year, when he has the ball, he's spectacular. Like, he's so fast and makes people miss on him. And the way he handles the ball, it's like something to see. Like, when they make those comparisons, but him and Deebo Samuel, you could certainly see them because of all of his speed. So I like how he's going to be that Amon St. Brown, the kind of comparison. We're not going to say he is anything like him just yet, because that guy's so freaking
Big O, you got to switch your camera around. You look like you're laying down on us. Now you're upside down, which is kind of cool. I like that. You're doing like a headstand for us, bro. Do
maybe I need like a beer.
Do like a 180. There you go. You're almost there. Oh no. He'll be back. All right. Sorry about that. Go ahead, man. Just trying to help you.
Oh, no. It was just I think I'm really excited to see what he could do in this offense as that slot wide receiver. And especially, I think the weapons around him is going to make him better. The other guy I really like is Turner, with the other 2nd round pick. Well, with Turner, the dude's very aggressive. If you watch some of his games, Texas A&M, very aggressive. He had some of the personal foul penalties, but he plays with a nastiness to him. And I'm excited to see what he does under Dennis Allen's defense. And I actually like the last pick, the 7th-round pick of the running back, Monaghy. I never say his freaking name right. I knew I was going to butcher that. But I think for a 7th-round pick, I'm like, man, 7th-round picks are like either hit or miss. And I think this dude could be a perfect fit in our offense, depending on where they would use him or where they would want to play him. And I'm sure they would be as special teams as well. So I think those are the ones that stood out to me the most when I look back at this draft.
You're absolutely right. Chris is taking himself a little siesta lunch over there. He's eating on the camera. Remember when Paris did that? He didn't make the next podcast. No, Chris, but seriously, what's going on, brother? What's your take on this whole deal with the draft? How do you think it went down, man? Overall, back to back, were you a little surprised? Were you wanting a running back, or are you good with everything? How it all played out?
Well, I'm sorry. I was so hungry to get into this conversation. I had to take a bite real quick. But but no, when I look at this draft, at first I was taken back because when you looked at the mock drafts, you paid attention to who was the number one tight end on the board. Yeah, that did kind of throw me for a loop. It had question mark over my head. Like Loveland was a number two tight end on the board, but then when you look at the film, you understand why, and you understand like the head coach's philosophy when it comes to the game. Um, I'm gonna. It's very exciting just because of the simple fact that when we play out of a 12 out of 21 personnel, I would say 21, two tight ends, one running back, 21 personnel. It can also put the defense in a level of conflict because you don't have a strength in the defense, and then that can be also based off of whether it's close to the boundary or to the field. So either way, that puts them in a kind of a bind as well because they have to maintain the strength and the weaknesses of where you're most likely going to run the ball if you run the ball. Now, on top of that, you add Luther Burden into the mix. Now he can be a guy that can be a jack of all trades because of his speed, because he's able to get yards after the catch, and his receiving ability. So now you have another guy that you can move around the field, and you can also move around a guy like DJ Moore. So now defenses are going to be on their heels when it comes to play calling because now you don't know who's going to be where, what's going to be lined up, what's going to be called. So this whole level of unpredictability when it comes to Ben Johnson, everything's getting put into place. And then he talked about the defensive tackle, Matt. You don't understand. I love talk about defense, and that guy right there, he is nasty, he's mean, and he causes havoc. That is the one that is a key thing to having a defensive lineman when you want a guy to disrupt the run game and also push the pocket to the pocket so the opposing quarterback's not comfortable. So these draft picks, I love them. I love them. I especially love the fourth pick we made, which was a guy that we could switch between guard and tackle. Like that right there just shows another level of flexibility for this team. And we need that level of flexibility to remain unpredictable because unpredictability in the space game is real crucial because the smallest yard, if you have to have somebody defend every blade of grass on the field, the smallest yard, the inches, the centimeters, whatever, it matters when it comes to play calling.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I want to touch on something real quick for all the folks out there because I heard you say 21 personnel. Now, a lot of teams in the NFL run that. Detroit ran 0 snaps from 21 personnel.
Oh, it's 12 then. My bad. It was 12.
No, you're good. So 12 would be the 2 tight ends, 1 running back.
Yeah.
They didn't run 2 running backs, 1 tight end. So that's where you would see that, interchange, whatever. They were a 2 personnel group team, but like I said, you got to see in the situations where they ran the 12, the metrics, when's the right time to do it. Like I said, they're going to be doing a lot of things that are the same, but they're going to look different. He's already showed his hand, but I'll tell you what, man, when you look at the team that we've got designed, when you look at the team that we've assembled, man, these guys look like the freaking Avengers, man. Look at these. Look at this team. This is redunculous, man. This is great. I mean, a lot of people are putting a lot of pressure on, and I talked to Jim Miller about this today. Shout out to Jim Miller, our forever co-host, former Chicago Bear quarterback, works on Sirius XM Radio, NFL Network. He was telling me that he doesn't think we need to go out and get a running back. All this stuff. Listen, why get excited about Nick Chubb's when he's often injured, man? This guy is injured all the time. He doesn't think we need to go run out and get some. He says he thinks that we've got what we need on the team. We've got upgraded play callers. We got upgraded roster. We've got upgraded, staff. He's really, really happy about it. I mean, look at this squad, man. DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden, who I think is going to be in the best receiver we got on the team if everything works out. Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift, and Colston Loveland. Oh my. Talk about a freaking team. But how do you guys see, we'll start with Matt. How do you guys see the Bears implementing all these new weapons and personnel packages, especially with 3 wide receivers and 2 tight ends, Matt? We'll start off the top with you. Give me 1 second and go.
I think that's the $1 million question. And I think it's all going to start with meshing this group together with a brand new offensive system. And that starts with the offensive line, because I still think with the first couple of weeks of the season, I don't know how this offensive line is going to perform. Listen, do we have upgrades on the line? Yes, of course we do. We went out in free agency and signed players, but I still have some question marks with our tackles. What are we going to be doing at left tackle? Is Darnell Wright going to be good to go at right tackle? And I think it's going to start with that. And then to kind of your point, Brandon, about the running backs, because that was a big part of Ben Johnson's offense in Detroit, was running the ball. And he had those 2 guys with Gibbs and Montgomery. Is it going to be Johnson and Swift? Is it going to be our 7th round pick that we took in the draft? And I do agree with you what you said about Nick Chubb, by the way. I was having this conversation with some of my other friends. If this was Nick Chubb about 4 or 5 years ago, I would say that was one of the best running backs I've seen. But when I watched some of his games at the end of the year last year, just go watch some of the end of the games. I mean, the dude, he's not the same play. And now, listen, man, I saw his squatting videos that he just put out. What was that, like 2 days ago? He was squatting like 600 pounds. Did you guys watch those videos?
Yeah, I did. And you know what? That's under a controlled environment. Not saying that in my controlled environment, I can do the same damn thing. But when you've got somebody coming at you, and you know what I'm talking about, Big O, you guys know where I'm going with this. Blind side, back side, front side, it don't even matter. You don't know that it's coming? Listen, like, what did Rocky Balboa say? Fictional character, of course. He said, he basically was like, the bag don't hit back. Same thing with freaking what do you call it? Bruce Lee. Same thing with hitting the boards and all that kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't hit back at you. Okay, training and all that stuff, that's all fine and dandy. Under a load, being hit, being tackled, I don't know, man. Like I said, 3 yards of carry, that don't really excite Trax much. I don't know if it excites you guys that much. And listen, there's other guys out there too that they're talking about. And guess what? They're injured too. They're the reason why they're not signed. I'm under the same impression that Jim Miller is. I think Roshan is my number 2 guy. Swift is my number 1. And we see this rookie start to take carries away and eventually take over. I will say this guy right here, Trapilo, this guy right here, they're going to start him out 6'8". You know who he reminds me of? Joe Alt, Control Alt Delete from Notre Dame, who our boy Jim Harbaugh took over there with the Superchargers. He is now over there. He's going to start him, not start, but he is going to try him out at left tackle. He's played left tackle as a freshman. He played as a senior. I'm looking at a lot of stuff. He's got to work on his feet, his technique, his feet, all that kind of good stuff. I believe Dan Rushhour is going to work with him and mold this boy. Guys, I'm calling it right now. If everything works out, I do project this guy to start out at left tackle, because I don't know. And I've said this a lot. I don't know if this man's going to be ready. I don't know if he's going to be ready. And if Trapilo shows us enough, he might be the starter, man. He might be the starter. I don't know how you feel about that, Matt, but you were asking about how it's all going to shake out and all this kind of stuff. I will say this. Is this the guy I'm looking for? No, this is not a freaking offensive lineman. That was ridiculous. I'm sorry, guys. I'm embarrassing us all. The guy from Michigan State, I've heard a lot of good stuff about him. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He could play inside, outside. He's got a lot of work. He's not NFL strength ready, but from what Jim Miller says, his boy plays tight end over there at Michigan State. That's his alma mater. He has a lot of good feelings about that guy. He's played a lot of big games, no penalties, no nothing like that. Never allowed his QB to get hit or to get sacked. That all matters. I think maybe year 2 or year 3, Lord willing, Matt, as long as he doesn't end up, having to take over for somebody getting injured, knock on wood, that doesn't happen because we got some dogs that are veterans that we got in free agency and traded. But that's what I'm looking at, Matt. I just, me and my offensive lineman, DNA, I had to jump out there and talk a little bit about it, brother. And it was coming, bro. It's coming. Talk about that and chocolate ice cream, and I'm all ready for you, bro.
I was waiting for you to say that. But Brent, I was thinking too that where he comes from too. Bill O'Brien's his head coach at Boston College, who was former Patriot, with the Patriots and NFL ready. So I think that's what gives me excitement about him too, man. He comes from an NFL kind of pedigree with Boston College with his head coach.
Dude, hold on. I got to get you. That's a bar, dude. That's a bar. I was not expecting that, man. I was not expecting that. So now that's a tough act to follow, but Chris, I think you could do it, bro. I know Chris is ready. Go ahead, man, and go.
Also, when you looked at Boston College the past 2 years, what were they really based on? They were somewhat run heavy because of the situation at quarterback. So on top of that, there was also a certain level of unpredictability with their play calling when they put in that quarterback in last year. So he has a level of experience in the type of skeleton this offense is going to be wrapped around. So when you pay attention to this draft class and you think about the running back, I would say with Nick Chubb, because that's the name that's being thrown around. I would say there's nothing wrong with trying to kick the tires to see where that knee is at. Now here's where this is where I differ, because knee issues I've dealt with them in the past. The thing about it is that when you look at NFL players who come from away from a knee injury, torn ACL, stuff of that nature, it is a mental thing of trusting the knee again to make those cuts, to make that to have that burst and trust the knee. So I would kick the tires on that. If that leg is fine, if he's running out of old Nick Chubb was able to run, now let it be known he's like 29, almost 30. I would say, yeah, look into it. But as of right now, I have no problem with it being Swift 1, Johnson 2, and Monangai being the number 3, and we could just see what we get from that. But I would kick the tires on Nick Chubb, because now on top of that, you have that guy that can be the thunder to what Swift can be, which is a certain level of lightning when it comes to how elusive he could be in the field. So yeah, you add that power, you have that guy that can shake ankles. Yeah, I'm all ready for it. I'd have no problem if they choose not to, though.
I'm muted. Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. I love this bar. I love what Bear Truth 9 says. He always comes. All you guys, shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome, man. We're gonna get to Big O in a little bit, man. Look at that guy, dude. He's all cleaned up, man. He's got that fresh lineup, got that hat, boom, got that freaking Bears flag behind him. Man, I'll tell you what. Talk about a premiere. He knew he was going to be on CSP. He's like, you down with CSP? Yeah, you know me. He's looking good, bro. He's looking good. So listen, here's the deal. I will say, I agree. If you kick the tires on Chubbs and he looks good, give him a shout. But here's the deal. I like what Darius said too. He ain't coming in just to take, he also said Johnson's always in street clothes as well. So as well means somebody else is in street clothes, which is Nick Chubb. And Chubb is not coming to the Bears to carry the ball 20 times a game, okay? So what he's saying is you need to look at the salary and make sure the salary represents what we got you coming to do, okay? But here's the deal. I do believe in monsters, and I believe that our new running back out of what do you call it?
Rutgers.
Rutgers is going to be a monster. I believe. I'm speaking into existence. This guy is that dog. Now, with that being said, I want to hear from Big O. Big O, what's your take on all this, buddy?
Let me tell you, going back to the O-line real quick, what we did on the offseason, what we did in the draft, the 2 tackles we got, I think this O-line is going to be probably one of the most improved O-lines in the game this year, right? And what that's going to do is improve Swift's game. Swift, I think, his game's going to elevate. I think he's going to get a lot more yards. I think the O-line is going to create a lot more gaps, a lot of more paths for Swift to run. Same thing with Roschon as well. And also the rookie. I think the rookie, I think he's going to be a beast. He's a physical specimen. I think it's going to be impressive to see our run game elevate. And I can't wait to see it, man. Cannot wait.
And and to your point, Big O, I'll tell you what, I know you're gonna watch all of it because you're diehard, bro. Even though you're transplanted, you move down south. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be watching every single game, right, bro?
Always, man. I don't miss a game. If I'm not doing Sunday ticket, I go to the local Bears bar at the Wingnut with all my Bears fans in the area. We pack it in, man, about 100, 200
Damn.
deep. We
Damn.
represent. Yeah, we
That's
represent.
a big crowd. That's a big crowd.
It is a big crowd. We take over. We're actually the Bears have actually coined us an official Bears bar in the DFW area.
Let's
we're
go.
legit.
Let's go. Oh,
Hold on. Let's go, baby.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. Representing down in the Big T. All right, down at what's that? Busey? No, Bucky's. Yeah, Bucky's. Oh man, I love that.
Man, I like Bucky's.
A place where you can go where you need a shopping cart at a damn grocery store. It is redunculous, man. It is crazy.
Yeah, I love Bucky's, man. The barbecue sandwiches and the beaver bites, whatever they're called, I love them.
Good My stuff, brother man. And sister lives down there, man. I got to come down to Dallas and
come on down, sure. Baby.
Here's the deal. We are going to check out in the chat really quick. Cliff's in the building. Squeegee's in the building. James is in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. D Nice is in the building. Vizzo Joe. Oh, man, you guys are packing it up, packing it in, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. And Cheryl is keeping us updated on all the scores. Cubs lead the Brewers 10-0. Wow, that's a dang football score. Holy cripes, man, that's crazy. James, go Pack. Oh, man. Melon Smasher. I wanted to sign Najee Harris in free agency. I think Najee Harris would be a good fit. He's just a little too rich right now for what we going on. And I'll tell you right now, I immediately started my Jeremiah Love campaign as soon as the draft is over. Oh, man, could you imagine Jeremiah Love in a Chicago Bear uniform, man? That would be spectacular. That's the running back from Notre Dame. Let me get into the questions again. I got a couple more questions for my fellas. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree that expected points added is now the driving metric behind this offense, knowing that we've got all of these guys in the building? This time, I'm going to start it off with Chris. Chris, what say you, bro? Do you feel like this is a driving force, especially since Ben Johnson brought it up in a press conference?
I would say it is a driving force because, When you think of the type of coach we have, he's an offensive minded guy. And when you usually have an offensive minded coach, you think, okay, well, the defense is going to be kind of lacking a little bit because they focus so much on the offensive side of the ball. Now, with Ben John, with how today's game is, it's a space game. It's made to score points, and we've seen throughout the league where you can make the playoffs with a spotty defense. We wouldn't want that, by the way, but you can make the playoffs with a spotty defenses, even go to the Super Bowl and win the big one. And the thing about it is that points put pressure on the opposing team offensively and defensively because now the defense has to try to find a way to stop you. And then on top of that, the offenses has to keep up. If they're unable to keep up, it puts more pressure on the defense to make a stop. When you adding points. When it's a keep up game instead of trying to keep up. And I like that. I like that, and I'm all the way with it. I think EPA should be the new metric on how to judge how productive these teams can be. I really do.
Bro, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this right now. Here's the deal. You don't know who the hell's coming. We got a Swiss Army knife. I heard that freaking Luther Burden in the building might come in as a damn running back. I mean, think about it. This guy coming at you with that speed, with that fire. Look at it, man. He's on fire, man. He is ready to freaking wreck shop, and he is pissed he didn't get picked as a first wide receiver in the draft. For him to go in the second round, I tell you what, is the best thing that could ever happen in Chicago. I never wish anything bad on somebody that's in the building with us, but I think this right here might have been the best thing for the Chicago Bears because this guy plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he's got the whole city of Chicago behind him. And this guy plays big. He's built for the cold. This guy is ready to wreck freaking shop. Let's freaking go. Oh, man, don't get me started, man. This ain't your freaking... Hey, listen, guys, I'm going to tell you right now. This is not your granddad Chicago Bears anymore. This isn't 3 yards and a cloud of dust. This is aggressive. This is firepower. And this is Ben Johnson saying, you want to stop us? Good luck finding where the hell it's coming from. Now, Matt, I got to ask you, Matt. I got to ask you, buddy, my brother in arms. What do you think about this, man? What do you think about the Chicago Bears, man? Are you excited? Are you fired up? Do you agree that expected points added is now the driving metric behind the Chicago Bears, bro?
I do. And I think you start by just looking at our division itself. Look at our division last year. Look at the winning division. We had one of the best divisions in football. And I was just looking at points. I was looking at this a couple of weeks ago, but just on average about the teams in our division, about the points per game just alone. Like the Lions scored over 33 points a game. The Packers was around 27, and the Vikings, I believe, was around 26 or 27 with high-powered offenses. And I'm just going with our division. I didn't even look at all the other teams in the NFC and the AFC and breaking everything down. But I was just looking at our division alone because I still think this division is going to be super tough this year. I think this is going to be a hard division. I think all these teams are going to be pretty good teams. And I think this is something that we're going to have to take a closer look at because we got the guy. We all think we got the right guy in charge right now that can come in here, take this offense into another direction, take this offense to somewhere that we haven't seen in a very long time, to get into the times right now where the NFL is at, where you got to score. I mean, the Eagles would be the other example I'd give you too. Look at how they won the Super Bowl last year. But this is where we got to be. This is the NFL right now. This is the NFL of today. And I think this is a metric that I think is going to be important not only for next year, but for years to come.
Bro, I couldn't agree with you more. I think Ben Johnson's a visionary. I think he knows what the hell's he doing. I think he's fired up. I think the guy has bags under his eyes for a reason because he's not worried about Botox. He's not worried about getting massages. He's not worried about damn pedicures. He's worried about his damn Chicago Bears, and he wants to get – listen, this guy was freaking – here's the deal. He wasn't appointed, dude. He was anointed by the damn Chicago Bears. And this guy takes it seriously. He's been coming to Chicago for the last 10 years watching baseball. He's fired up and he's ready to work, man. He's rolled his sleeves up and he's ready to go. Look at him, dude. He's freaking, every time you see him, he's fired up. And I'll tell you another guy that's fired up, Big O. Big O's fired up.
Yep.
Big O, do you agree that these expected points added is now the driving metric behind this offense?
Man, 100%. 100%. We hired Ben Johnson for a reason. He wanted the job, right? He's bringing what he knows, his high-powered offense from Detroit, right? And it's imperative that shoring up that O-line first in the offseason, in free agency, bringing in weapons in the draft, it's imperative. We're going to run what he knows best. We are going to score points, and we are going to be competitive because we have to be in this division.
You're 100% right. You got to be competitive. We talked about the stats earlier. We talked about how ridiculous it was in the NFC North, man. I mean, you look at the NFC North as being, defensive minded and all that kind of stuff. You don't look at them as putting up like big points, big numbers in the offense. And let's be realistic though, guys. We are. And I think a lot of that has to do with Detroit because what happened? What happened is the Minnesota Vikings, they went out and got their dog, right? They went out and got their dog. So what did we do? We went out and took a dog from Detroit, man, because they had weapons. They had Gibbs, Laporta, St. Brown, Montgomery. But here's who else they had. They had Ben Johnson running all of it. And guess what? For those expected points added that he believes in, now we've got it, man. We've got Ben Johnson, and he believes in this stuff, and he's looking at it. He's recording it all. I mean, I'm fired up, man. And this play calling is a much see. Like, listen, when you're talking about, okay, here's what I'm talking about, Big O. When you're talking about chess, everybody's got the same pieces, right? But it's up here. It's up here and it's up here. That's what wins the chess match. Everybody's got the same stuff, right? But this guy right now, I feel we called him in the building because he is going to outwit you. He's going to outthink you. And I think what's most important, he's going to outgrind you. And I feel all the guys that he's picked up along the way in the free agency, in the trades, in the draft, he picked them dogs up, man. He picked up them dogs that are going to fight, that are going to outgrind you. And every single one of these guys can do and play multiple positions. Just like, my boy Chris was talking about earlier, playing multiple positions, doing multiple things. Everybody can go out and do that thing, man. And I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it. And I think we're going to do a lot of the same things, but make them look different. That's what he said. That's what he's here for. He's going to keep it simple, stupid. I mean, that's acronym, right? KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. The one thing that you don't want to have a guy do when he's lining up on those X's and O's in the trenches or on the outside is get in his head. You don't want to be thinking. You want to keep it simple, and you want it to, you want all these drive-in metrics to drive themselves. That's what his job is for. Your job is to go out and read and react. So, like I said, Chris, take it away, buddy. What do you think about all this? What do you think about these driving metrics, man? I know we talked about it. I know you've spoke on it, but I mean, tell us a little bit more about what you see, because honestly, here's the deal I want to ask you, Chris. This guy right here, Colston Loveland, this was the first draft pick by this man right here as a head coach. What do you expect to see? A lot of people are like, we already got Cole. Well, here's the deal. That's all fine and dandy. But what you're doing is you are creating these packages to attack against your defense. And I think it's real important about what he did. A lot of people think it was a wasted draft pick, but I don't think so that much, and I don't think you do either. So let's talk a little bit about that, Chris.
So when I think of having two tight ends, one thing that comes to mind is an offense similar to Baltimore. When Baltimore comes out and they have Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, both were impactful, and they also left defenses in conflict because they were lined up to run the ball, but they were able to have a good passing game with the two on the field at the same time. So I that's why I like the pick. On top of that, now Loveland is a blocker, so he knows how to maintain his blocking assignments when it comes to the run game because he had to run first in order to catch the ball later. So I like the way Ben Johnson's lining this up because of the simple fact that he can attack in multiple ways from a set that you can either run, pass, and he has the weapons that have the height. Cole Komet 6'6", Colston Loveland 6'5". It's a matchup nightmare because if you line up in a base 3-4-4-3, you're going to have a linebacker or a safety covering this tight end depending on your play call. That is a mismatch. That is a mismatch. It is a size mismatch if it's a safe size, height, weight mismatch if it's a safety, and it's a athleticism mismatch if it's a linebacker. So when you look at the way Ben Johnson is setting this up, it is setting this up to where a defense is on his heels as soon as they step on the field. And these metrics can play into that because of the fact that it is a result of his play calling. It is a result of how he uses these weapons. It is a result of how he's able to be flexible in his play calling and his personnel just because of the simple fact that he can run and throw the ball out of everything and be productive. When you have a guy like a Ben Johnson, and you give him the pieces like a DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Cole Komet. Now he brings in a Colston Loveland. Now he brings in a Luther Burden. We ain't even talk about the free agency acquisition with the Durham Smite. And then you add DeAndre Swift, and you address the line with one of the best guards, tuning in the off season. Like this is it's going to be a defensive nightmare to line up against this offense for 60 minutes. That's what it looks like it's going to be.
No, I'll tell you what, you're 100% correct, and it's going to be a nightmare for these defenses to figure out what the hell is going on. You're going to have it figured out, but guess what? You hate us because you ain't us, and that's what's going on. And you play like ain't us, and that's what's going on because we are going to make you guys look stupid and foolish. And I think that's what, listen, so many times we've had to look at our players, right? And they've had to work smarter because their boss. Wait, let me hold on. I got it all twisted. Hold on, let me get it together. They had to work harder because their boss wasn't smarter. We've all been in those situations in the real life, right? At our job, whatever. Might not be this job. I ain't trying to get no one fired today, okay? I'm just saying, here's the deal. Sometimes we have to work smarter or harder because our boss isn't smarter. And that's what's going on. But with Ben Johnson, damn, man, I feel like he is really going to make it. If everything works out, if everything pans out, he is going to take a lot of this stuff and just make these guys feel. You ever seen a guy? Okay. Michael Jordan, poetry in motion. Look at that guy, how graceful and how smooth he played. It was like a work of art, man. Just talking about it, I just feel like at peace just talking about the man. And I always go back to that. That's like the Mona Lisa of freaking basketball, okay? And that's what I think like Ben Johnson could like not that level, but like in that situation, he could bring that certain piece where these guys are just loose, ready to go play and just go do whatever. If you're uptight and you're like, I don't know, coach, is this going to work out? You know, I mean, I'm telling you, there's a difference when you believe in those marching orders. When those marching orders make sense and you believe in your general, everything like you go run through a wall like Kool-Aid kid, you know. Um, and I would really like to hear from Matt Cooper on this because I know he's got something to say. So take it away, Matt.
About running through a wall, getting you fired up for football season. Is that right, Brandon?
Yeah, man. This is Ben Johnson effect, man. I
It
know
is the
you're
Ben Johnson effect. It's not just the Ben Johnson, it's the Ben Johnson effect, and it's the effect that he's brought with him too. Is his coaching. I think why I'm so excited. Listen, all of us Bears fans, every 3 to 4 years, we've gone through a coaching change for the last, 15, 20 years. And then I get myself excited. I'm sure you guys and anybody in the chat right now could agree to this too. You get yourself excited. You get yourself ready for another coach. Then 3 years later, it's a different one. This one seems different to me, though. This one seems like we are bringing an offensive mind that's in with the times of the NFL, kind of what the Lions have done. And I think what also gets me excited about this is don't forget, before Dan Campbell got to the Lions, they were terrible. People were laughing at them. Dan Campbell went in, put the staff around him, put in a winning environment. That is what Ben Johnson is bringing here. He's got that Dan Campbell effect with him. Don't forget, he was with Dan Campbell too with the Dolphins. What was that? I think it was like 2015 when he was the interim head coach. So he's taken a lot of these characters. Say whatever you want about Dan Campbell. I love Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell's awesome. I think he's going to be taking a lot of those type of characteristics with him, the winning way, the winning attitude, and you could already see what he's doing with the coaching staff that he's brought with him here with the Bears. So I think we should all be fired up right now because of what we have right now and with our roster and the coaching staff and the coaches that he brought with him. There is no reason why we cannot win 8 or 9 games next year, or at least between 8 and 10. I mean, is that too much to ask for? I know we only won 5 last year, but is it too much to ask for between 8 and 10 games with this team and this coaching staff? You got me fired up, Trax.
I tell you what, I think Chris with a K has got a great answer for this. I could see it. I can read my coverage. Chris, what do you got to say about this question from Mr. Matt Cooper, America's greatest DJ in the history of ever?
I'm muted. Okay. Oh, my answer to that is he's not wrong to feel that way. Like, to be honest, when you think of everything that's going on with the way this offense is set up and the mind, the guy that is the one that controls the pieces, when you're able to trust the play calling because you know that guy know what he doing and that resume shows, it goes a long way. And then on top of that, with a coach like him, it is not just a football level, it gets to a personal level because you know that guy is looking out for you. He has their best interest in mind. That's another thing that a lot of people don't really pay attention to. It's like the rah-rah coaches, sometimes they're tough on the outside, but on the inside, it's like they have these conversations like, "Hey man, how's the wife hitting the kids?" And if those type of coaches, you want to run through a wall, brick, steel, glass, whatever it is, you need me to do it, I'm gonna do it. And that's the type of person that he is as a coach, and you see it on a daily when you look at it and you look through the information, you see the type of person he is. Now he got all these pieces. I seen in the comments just now. We might have a 4K passer. I truly do believe that. And to actually go to Matt's question, yeah, it's not. I do see it being a 10-win season. When you look at this division, you look at the pieces. Some of these teams have lost, and what we've gained this whole offseason, I feel like we won the offseason. I feel like we won the draft. There's no denying that because look who we have as a head coach. Look what we had as a roster before he got there, and he still improved on that. So yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I do, like, honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if we get the Caleb that we think we feel we're gonna get from this guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he get a 50. I wouldn't be surprised if he get a 50. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, let's go out and get that 50 burger, man. Let's get that 50 burger. I'm excited about it, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You're speaking it into existence. You're speaking it into existence, especially with this meatball fan right here. But Listen, guys. Shout out to the chat. You guys are killing it. Melon Smasher, I like this. He says, I don't want 4,000 passer if throwing 600 times. Run the ball. And that's what Ben Johnson loves to do. And then he likes to do the play action, all that good stuff. Time of possession is the game inside. I'll tell you what, man. I talked to my guy Big O. I feel like that we're going back to the old school way of football, man. When we're talking about this, run the ball, run it hard, run it down your throat. Speak a little bit on that, Big O. Are you excited that we're bringing our way back? Listen, the running back has definitely made their presence. People know now after the last Super Bowl, you need a running back. I feel like the circle's coming back. I feel like it's important. I feel like they're walking right back into Chicago Bear football, man. Are you excited about that, Big O? I think you're muted, buddy. You're not muted on my end. I don't know what's going on. You might have to back out and come back in. Let me ask let me ask Chris. Let me ask Chris. Chris, are you excited? Are you excited about the way this is coming back to Chicago Bear football, this run first?
Oh, most definitely, because that right there is where the toughness comes in. You got to get those tough yards. You eat away at the clock. You give your defense a rest. And it also makes those, if you're able to run the ball enough, you can get a safety or two to come up on some play action, and we can get a deep bomb for like a good 40 or 50. So it does. I do like the old school way of calling off, of play calling, where it's like, yo, you got to stop us. We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna run through your face, and if you can't stop us, well, Lord God help you, because if we're going to do a bunch of things off of running the ball, and we're going to just continue to grind, pound everything. It whatever you do, it doesn't matter after that. If I can run the ball, you're at my mercy.
I'll tell you what, Matt. Here's the deal that I feel on all this. Like, it is crazy that it's all circling back to us at the right time. And it's all happening with the coach that we've got. And you would think that he would be, pass happy and pass first. No, 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 no. It's been proven he loves to run the football. And I'm telling you what, like, all of us feel like last year, didn't you guys just feel like, I know you guys are all mute except me, but don't you guys feel like legit we should have ran the ball more? I mean, I talked to freaking Olin, and Olin Kreutz was like, dude, if we run the ball, we're a better team. If we run the ball to the left versus the right, we are a better team. And when we did, and I watched that, we were a better team. Now, our offensive line is different. Our offensive coordinator is different. Our wide receiver, everything is different. I'll just get right to the end, right? Everything is different. I mean, like I said, let me go back to my guy, Big O. Are you excited that everything is circling back to the Bears' way of football, brother?
Man, I'm very excited. I can't wait to get that run established. Cannot wait to see Swift go off, man. And even Roshan on the short yardage plays, man. Getting them first downs. I can't wait to see what the rookie's doing this year. See what the O line is doing. Open up them lanes for our running backs. But I'm really excited about getting that play action established from that run game. And yeah, I'm excited to see some points, man, because we have not seen a high-powered offense with the Bears in so long. I mean, I'm thinking back all the way to Mark Trestman when we did score points with Mark Trestman's offense. 100% we did. We were scoring 30, 35, 40 points a game, but our defense was terrible, right? So I'm thinking we're getting back to that, of course, with Ben Johnson style, man, with his creativity, and it is going to be sweet. I think we're going to be a force to reckon with, man. We're going to be like Macho Man Randy Savage, cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you hit a bar right there. You hit several bars. And I'll tell you what, you're absolutely 100% right, man. You are, I mean, you're spot on with Chicago Bears football. Ben Johnson is that dude we need. And I'll be honest with you, I really wanted some Pete Carroll in the building. When I talked to Jim Miller and he talked about this guy being the fountain of youth and what he provides and what he's, I think at one point in time, the Bears were seriously looking at him, and Ben really didn't show his hand right out of the gate. Okay, and I was worried about a first time head coach. I really was, because we've had a lot of experiments. You guys know, most notably Eberflus, and like you just said, Tressman, the cross dress. That guy right there, he looked good coming in, looked even better going out. First year, nobody knew what the hell he was doing, so I felt like we had an upper hand. Second year, like you say in spades or something like that, first time is luck. Seconds time, it proves whether or not you've got any skill. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I mean, obviously he left the league shortly after that. Not sure where he's at, and I don't really freaking care. But I feel like this guy Ben could be here for a long time, man. And I'm excited I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. And you know who I was excited about? And he was at the end of his days, was John Fox. I'll be honest. When they first hired John Fox, I was excited, dude. One thing that excited about me was I found out his dad was a Navy SEAL. What I did find out about this experiment, just because your daddy is a Navy SEAL, don't mean that you freaking are. You're a freaking idiot. And I'm so glad that he left when he did. And I was an idiot for drinking his Kool-Aid, man. But I got a feeling. I got a feeling that Trax is like for once is right about this. And I feel like you guys are right about it too. I think this is going to feel good. Here's another guy I'm excited about. Another guy that I'm excited about, and I think you guys are excited about too, is Dennis Allen, man. This guy, I mean, you guys just spoke on it. Seriously, think about it, guys. We had a good offensive side, but a shitty defensive side. I feel like we can have both sides right at the same damn time in the same damn place. And it doesn't just stop there. We got a good offensive line coach. We got a good defensive line coach. We got a good receivers coach. We got a good quarterbacks coach. These guys have not been gone for that long. They are still around this area. They're still in the building. I mean, seriously, man, for them to try to compete to Ben Johnson, for them to compete against Ben Johnson and say, Ben Johnson, I want you to go out and tell us who the employee of the month is. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to find out who the employee of the month is, man, because they're all grinders. They're all dogs. And everybody was like, oh, man. Oh, listen. Ryan Poles is worried. He's worried about trying to hire somebody who could take his job. And that's the big, deal about Chicago. Like, nobody wants to hire anybody good to freaking take his. Listen, all these guys are very, very good men at what they do. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is my sleeper pick right here. And I think it's a sleeper pick for a lot of us because you put him right next to the best offensive lineman with the Chiefs, and guess who gets a credit? Eric Bieniemy. You put him against right next to the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, guess who gets the credit? Eric Bieniemy. This guy, he is going to make a huge difference. And to this day, Andy Reid still doesn't know why he's not a head coach in the NFL. And I'm very happy that he's in the building. Now, let me ask you gentlemen this. out of all of these coaches, who are you most I'm going to ask Chris right off the top. Chris, who are you most excited about being in the building that is not the head coach?
I got two. I'm gonna go one and two. One is Dennis Allen because he always attacks. Defenses attack. It's about with the D line, see ball, get ball. But then at the same time, you got you. He takes advantage of speed. He has his defensive players bring that attitude, and they play in and their defense. The defenses he designed is made to play in space very well. Number two is Eric Bieniemy. Now everybody associates Eric Bieniemy with the Kansas City Chiefs. What people don't really remember about Eric Bieniemy is he was Adrian Peterson's running back coach. Think about that for a minute. If he was able to get even more out of AP that we've seen in Oklahoma, imagine what he could do for our running backs and this team right now. Manon guy being the rookie. So I like this because of the simple fact that you have a guy who was actual a college running back himself. He went to the University of Colorado. Now he is a running back coach for the Chicago Bears, and he has a resume where he has a future Hall of Famer on it. So I'm more excited about those two coaches right there.
You know what? You're 100% correct, but I mean, honestly, I don't think there's a bad answer in the damn building. I think they're all great. And any freaking answer is accepted. So, we're going to ask Mr. Matt Cooper what his take is on this. Who other than Ben Johnson is your favorite to watch this year?
I'm gonna go with Antoine Randall L. Antoine Randall L. Antoine Randall L. Listen, he's from Chicago, man. I remember him growing up, man. It was about the same time. I remember seeing him and the way he played. Not only was he a great player, I believe he won a championship with the Steelers too. I think he did. I have to ask my girlfriend on that, but um, I love his passion and his energy, and you could see all the players had all the respect in the world for him with the Lions. And I think this is a stepping stone for him too. I think he's going to be going into the Bears with the Bears this year because I feel like some of these coaches that Ben Johnson brought on staff with him are going to be future either coordinators or future head coaches a couple of years from now. So I'm interested to see who on his staff, if anybody on his staff, if that will happen. And I think he could be one of them. And I think he's going to have one of the most explosive rooms in general. I mean, just look at all the wide receivers that we have and we got to work with this year. So I'm excited to see what he can do with our team.
Guys, let me just say this. Let me say this for one moment. And this is not any I love all your takes. I already said that already. But this man, including from me, has got a lot of heat, right? A lot of heat. And I feel like he deserved it at the right point and right time. But he deserves a lot of praise. I'm telling you right now, this freaking dog. Oh my. I'm so proud of you, sir. I'm so proud of you for proving me wrong and some of us wrong. This guy went out and signed all of these guys. I'm telling you right now, these look like the Avengers of freaking Chicago Bear football staff, man. Unbelievable. The guys he put together. I mean, and it all, honestly, it all started with having trust, in a rookie, a freaking rookie head coach. Oh my, unbelievable. Let me ask you this, Oscar. Where are you at on all this, man? I'd love to hear from you, man. Let's hear where you got to weigh in at.
Real first thing, I love Ryan Poles, and I tweet out in polls I trust quite often through the season. He's been our best GM. I tell you, the way he's built this team from where he started to where we are now, bar none, and just hands down, I think the best regime we have in football with Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles. But as for my favorite addition to the staff this year would be, I'm going to piggyback off of Matt as Randall L. His passion, man, it's exciting. I think he's going to elevate our wide receiver corps. I think Dunze is going to go off. DJ Moore is going to have a. I predict DJ Moore will have 1,000 yards this year. I think he will be the first one to hit 1,000, and following by maybe a Dunze and that rookie. But it's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be exciting to see. And that secondary coach or the safety coach from the Cowboys, Harris. I think his name is Al Harris, right? Yeah, he's going to be. You watch our secondary just elevate, man. I mean, I want to see what Brisker does this year. Or not Brisker, but Tyreek Stevenson. I want to see what happens with that cat.
Yeah, you bring up a good point because Tyreek Stevenson immediately when Al Harris got hired, he sent Tyreek off to some camp or something. I don't know what it was, exorcism, whatever. Get all that crazy wild out of him. I don't know what, but he saw something in him. You don't send somebody to that unless you see that he's got some greatness in him. You're just like, you know what? You're out of here. You know what I mean? You're out of here, kid. Spelled backwards. You're out of here, kid. And he kept him. He moved him on out, and he went. And that is the true definition of culture. I feel like a lot of people don't understand what culture is. They feel like listen, like it's a buzzword or something. It's a kumbaya, feel good, whatever. For me, culture is what I can get away with as a player and what I will allow you to get away with as a coach. And the first thing that Ben said is no cell phones. And there was a lot more after that. But I mean, seriously, but before all that, Al Harris was like, hey, listen, Stevenson, I'm sending you off to go work this out. And you're not going to spend that money unless, you believe in that dude. And I believe in him. I think he's going to be good. And I believe in all the guys that they picked up. Listen, we are in for a treat. When you go get a UDFA from LSU named Major Burns, oh my, we got some dogs, man. And guess what? These guys can all perform at multiple positions at high levels. So I'm excited, man, because I'll tell you this, guys, this ain't your dad's this is not your dad's Chicago Bears anymore, man. This ain't your granddad's Chicago Bears anymore. This ain't 3 yards and a cloud of dust. This ain't 3 and out. This ain't your punter is like, let's see what he does with that, that ball when he punts, like let's grab a beer and a shot. Let's see what happens, boys. This punt looks like he's got a drone on his foot or something, This is aggression. This is firepower. And this is Ben Johnson saying, you want to stop us? Good luck finding where it's coming from. This ain't about, pour me. This is about try me, right? This team's not just building an offense. They're building a problem for every defense in the NFL, not just the NFC North, but the NFL. So, fellas, let's light it up, man. Let's light it up with them points. Let's light it up. Let's get some projections going. Now that we've got everything in the building, we've got, for the majority, we got the free agency unpacked. We got the trades unpacked. It's all about to go down. We got the draft up underneath us. Let's give some predictions. I don't care what they are. I'm not even going to lead the witness. But I'm going to start out right now with Matt Cooper. What do you think, man? Give us some predictions about this year. Early predictions, way too early predictions. I want to say that. Let me hear what you got to say, Mr. Matt Cooper.
My early prediction, I'm not going to go as far as saying they're going to win the division. I think that's too much to say that just right now. But I do think they're going to the playoffs. I think this will be finally the year that they could break through. I don't know what type of – it could be the 5th or 6th wild card team. I don't know which one it'll be, but it'll be a wild card. They're going to somehow make it in. and they're going to go in and make a little bit of noise. I think they can be a 9. I said it a little bit earlier. I think they could be a 9 or 10 win team. I think the key thing is to watch the first part of the season. I know we'll talk a lot more about that when we get closer too, but because it's a new offense, new coach, new offensive line, I think there's going to be a lot. I mean, there's going to be some things that they're going to have to work out for the first 4 to 5 weeks of the season. So I think that's the only little part that I'm just going to be looking at and like, okay, it's going to take a little bit of time, but this team could win 9 wins and go to the playoffs. That's my prediction.
I love it. I love it. That is a great prediction. That is something for me to be excited about. Now, let me ask my brother in arms, Big O. Big O, what do you think, man? What's your early prediction? Any which way you slice it, man, let us know.
Man, I tell you, every year I make predictions, right? Every single year I look at their schedule. I say, okay, we're going to do, me and my son, every year, tradition. We look at the schedule and we say, win, win, loss, whatever. And every year it backfires, right? And, but it's different this year. It's 100% different. I know y'all can probably agree. I'm thinking a 10-win season, and that's probably a little bit aggressive, but I just think that it's going to be. I think we're going to surprise a lot of teams. We're going to surprise the league. We're going to shock some teams, man. And 10 wins, playoffs for sure, man. I'm probably going to hopefully not eat my words like I do every year, man. But that's all. I'm going. That's it. 10 wins, playoffs, and we'll go from there, man. But we're definitely going to make some noise, man.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you kept it basically like level, even keel. That's smart. 10, 11 wins. That's really good. I believe that too, because honestly, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, last year, Vegas had us at like 7.5. 7.5 or 7.9, something like that. So that's without all the upgrades. And we know how much coaching matters because we didn't have any coaches, man. It was ridiculous. You got guys that are going into the film room and they're doing freaking puppets. They're doing like freaking puppets. Like Caleb was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna, make this up myself. What could have I done better in this situation as a damn rookie? He didn't have nobody leading him. That's ridiculous. You don't do that, man. You're basically you're like leading a rookie to failure when you do that. Film room is important. Just like when we get done with this podcast, the next day I'll listen to the audio and I'll look at the video and I'm like, oh God. Oh God. Tracks, you could do so much better at this, and that. I don't just turn it off and forget about it. It's a lot of work. It's film work. Film room, man. Just like, the NFL, the real dudes. But I'm telling you right now, man, I'm exactly right where Big O is. I'm excited about this year. I'm fired up. How could you not get fired up? So many weapons, so many good things going on. And I'll tell you what, we have a much tougher schedule than we did last year. The NFL is not taking it easy on us, fellas. They're not taking it easy on us at all. Chris, take it away, man. What are your thoughts?
I'm not going to do the safe option. I see, because of the way the division looks, yes, the schedule is a tougher schedule, but because of everything, the way it's been put together and the coaching we have, I see it as a 12-13 win season. And I'm going to stand on it. Everyone stays healthy, I see a 12-13 win season. Because you look at the rest of the division, that's 8 games out of that. A lot of teams lost a lot of pieces. One team lost the quarterback position. We don't know how that guy is going to play. And then you look at Green Bay. Green Bay, there's a question mark with Love. Detroit, they lost a lot of coaching. Like, we're the only team that's really been gaining out of this offseason, especially in the key spots. So I do see us winning the division, at least the division. But I do see 12-13 wins.
I love it, bro. I love it. I love your confidence. I love your cool and your calmness about it. And I love everybody in the chat. I love what you got going on. James, Melon Smasher. Who was that? Gallagher. Gallagher is a Melon Smasher. He's one of them guys. Calvin C. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, buddy. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for coming on board, man. Squeegee's in the building. We got Squeegee's Pizza around the corner. They got really good pizza on Wednesdays. Come check them out, man. Let's see who else. James is in the building. Cheryl Scrolls coming in. Rename the show Bear Tracks and do it now. Oh man. Well, we got to call Bears on Tracks. It's close. It's close. Tracks equals residential meatball. I am a resident meatball. I told you. I spoke it. I'm on it. I stand on it, bro. Calvin C says, I'm above excited about this coaching staff. I am too, man. I'm above it. I'm above it. Vizzo Joe says, we need Deo to earn his money. He better put pressure on the QB or defense going to struggle. Listen, man, I'll tell you right now, that guy could play the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of them. He could play every position, and that's why we brought him in. That's why Dennis Allen brought him in, okay? All right. You better become a freaking resident meatball too, because that's really good spaghetti, man. All right. The Squeegee says, Melon, I also heard that we are keeping our eyes open for safety, edge, and running back to add after the coach evaluate the players we have in minicamp. I mean, like, if you don't know who you have already and you're evaluating people, why would you be even open to bringing people outside of what you got? Like, I don't even think that's a situation yet. You got to evaluate 90 people before you even say that, you know? Calvin says, look for Booker this year. Oh, man, dude. He's going to tear it up. I think he's going to get 1,000. Melon Smasher, Squeegee, a lot of good stuff. Booker and Wheeler should be fun to watch in camp. If Wheeler can make it out of camp this year, that'd be great. Trust the process, people. Cheryl says Cubs win 19-0. Oh my God. Holy cow. Woo. That's crazy. For the Crosstown Classic, you better hope they get it out of their system, Sox fans. Oh my God, dude. At least they got the campfire shakes there. You better spike it with some Baileys. And some Kahlua. Shout out to Kahlua. Squeegee, they've given you no reason to trust. Oh my God. How could you not have a reason to trust? Calvin C. King Poles. I'm here to cheer for the people we have, not bitch about the ones we don't. Well, I'll tell you what. That's a good way to be. I like Ben Johnson. Poles sucks, though. What? Get out of here. Get out of here. I tell you what. That's ridiculous. That's a horrible take. No. No. You're terrible. That's a bad take. We love you, though. But that's bad. That's really bad. All right. Cubs win 10-0. What are we doing? Well, you took 9 away from us? You took 9 away from us, Cheryl? That's all right. 10-0 sounds good, too. Squeegee says, fly the W. Melon Smasher says, I'd say 6 to 7 wins. This isn't an easy schedule. He hates polls. He's giving us 6 to 7 wins. This guy is a Packer backer, man. Jeez, oh, Pete's. Calvin C says, wild card. I'm not mad at the wild card. Listen, 5 wins. Are you kidding me? Double it. Wild card. NFC North. I'll take it for sure. Vizzo Joe says, Bears need to have a season like the Cubs are having. Shout out to that. But the season is far from over. It's sometimes it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. Cubs offense is overachieving. This guy hates all of Chicago sports, man. I mean, yeah, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Listen, you got Sox fans in the building, and I'm telling you right now, Matt already sniffs this out. He knows what's going on. Trump, thanks for showing up late, Trump. Better late than never. Excited about this year for sure. See, you're not going to get this from a 4-letter network, an ESPN, CHSN, 3-letter networks, freaking ABC, CBS. You're going to get this from Chicago Sports Podcast. We want to make sure your voices are heard, your names are read, everything that you got. It all starts with you. This show is created from a fan. All these other brothers around me, my co-hosts, are fans, and it's created for you guys. We want to make sure your voices are heard, man. Chicago
dealt with last year as fans between all the drama and the coaching fires and everything that went on. And I think just from that alone, even if we have 8 wins this year, even if we go from 8 to 8 wins, I'm going to be a happy Bears fan because I at least know we're going in the right direction somewhere. I also got to remember too, man, as much as I love Caleb Williams, I got to remember this is only his second year coming into the league too. And I think there's still going to be some ups and downs a little bit. But I think this is going to be a year of, I'm going to call it the season of positivity because everything's going to be positive on our Chicago Bears.
Oh, and I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. There's a lot of positivity in the building. Listen, when you watch a guy like Jared Goff go off, okay, and he goes and scrambles and runs, and that guy ain't that fast. I guarantee you, check his 40 time, it's slow. You got a guy, Caleb, dual threat quarterback. It's about to get really exciting with Ben Johnson, guys. Really exciting. And remember, Caleb does not like to run. He's already said he wants to give it to his teammates and let them shine. And to me, that is awesome, dude. That is awesome. I'm excited. Chris, what do you got to say, brother?
Well, for me, I'm really just excited about how this season is going to go. For me, it just feels like it's going to be points, 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 and more points put on the board. So I have a kind of a high expectation because the staff you put together, the roster that's already been there, and you've added on to it. This doesn't feel like a rebuild. It feels like you're loading up for a lot of things to come. And I have an expectation of there should be a lot of points on the board.
That's awesome. I agree, man. There should be a lot of points on the board, and you said it best. You're standing on what the record should be, and you're setting a bar. You're setting a premium, and for a reason, you're not expecting less, and they've proven that by what they've did. You know. What about you, Big O? Take it away, brother.
No distractions, no TV
Mm.
shows, no coaches getting fades, no haircuts. I don't want to see a trip to the barbershop on TV. I want to, high powered offense, right? Caleb Williams had 3,500 yards last year, right? Where he had 5 picks, 6 picks. That was with no line. He ran for his life. Was he the most sacked quarterback last year, I believe, right? This year, I think we're going to see something totally opposite, 180, much improved. I think he will be our first 4,000-yard passer, and he will not be throwing 35 plus times a game either to do it. He's going to rely on the run game, our receivers. It's going to be sick, man. Bring it on, baby. Bear down.
And you know what? I gotta give a shout out to Big O, man. Big O, great job for your first time, man. I'm telling you right now. I here's the deal. Like, I remember my first time, it was ridiculous. And I mean, sometimes people probably log on and are like, this is the first time this guy's ever been on the damn show. But I dropped my phone, my phone hit the ground. I had it on my city trash can. It rolled over. the phone was in a lot worse shape and was not that good compared to what I got. I've got a laptop now. I've upgraded, but at the time, my first ever show was a hot mess, and I only had one person out there. I'm like, hold on, buddy, hold on. Let me get this phone. I'll make sure it never happens again. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a Folgers coffee can that I had on my nails in to do all my woodwork around the house and stuff. And I used that as a backstop. And I said, never again will I allow that phone to fall. But dude, shout out to you, man. You made us all look good. You look like you've been here before. We appreciate you, man. And you did a great job. But yeah, I expect really big things to come out of Chicago. I think it's going to be a really good, feel good season. And I enjoy working with you guys. It's going to be fun. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. You guys killed it. You guys did great. And follow us for more content. We got another show coming up tomorrow night. I believe Valparaiso University basketball team. They're going to be in the building. That's a college in Valparaiso. And we're going to have two of their star players coming on here and eventually their coach. Real excited about them. And yeah, guys, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. We appreciate your guys' view. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on Spotify, Pandora. We're on Apple. We're on YouTube. We're on XApp. We're on Instagram. We're on all that stuff, man. So go on, check us out. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Appreciate this community. We couldn't have got this far without you. And let's go ahead and give the pleasantries away. Matt Cooper, you got anything that you'd like to add?
Thank you all for the support, man. Thank you guys in the chat room. Thank you guys so much for watching today. We appreciate everything. Thank you so much. Can't say that enough.
What about you? What about you, Chris? What do you got to say, brother?
Shout out to the chat for, spending their time with us, giving us your input. Thanks for the love and the support. We love y'all the same way y'all love us, man. We appreciate it.
Last but not least, cleaning up is Big O. Big O, take it away, brother.
Hey, man, appreciate you guys, man, for having me on. Appreciate all the guys on the chat. You guys brought it tonight. Just loved being here, man, and I look forward to more.